when I think of the Yankees, and I know the Yankee fan is really frustrated right now, the team is actually competing at an extremely high level. And this goes back to, when they took 2 out of 3 from Houston. What has happened to them is, at least in my eyes, is their bullpen meltdowns have been catastrophic. I mean, they have, and there has been one after the next. They've all had their turns. From the wild pitch night, Thursday night, to yesterday with Jonathan Loizaga, to the rehabilitation of Aroldis Chapman right in the middle of the season, to getting finally Zach Britton back. I mean, this has just been a nightmare scenario, and this goes to show you also why that is such an important part of today's Major League Baseball.
And it's so hard to get right, and it does feel like deja vu again as I am sitting here. You were out Friday, but I was here talking about a horrendous Yankees loss. Now we have this weekend happen, and I wake up, come back in on Monday, and it's another horrendous Yankees loss. And I feel like, how many of these have we had this year? I mean, it just feels like every time that one of these happens, and there's been multiple, as we just mentioned, Thursday and then Sunday against the Red Sox in a series where they really needed to not have this happen to them. I mean, I feel like we're saying, well, this was the worst loss of the year. This was the worst loss of the year. And now they're up against it so much that the Tampa Bay Rays have an opportunity to bury them right now.
We suck right now.
Yes.
Yeah, but
they continue to suck right now.
There's only one part of the team that really, truly sucks right now, and that is the bullpen part of it. And that's a big part of it, and it's a big look. You can talk about all the other, what I actually consider, when I look at it, minor issues. But I think back to their loss in Houston, where they could have swept the Astros, and they blew it by giving up, I think it was 6 runs in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Yeah.
And they ended up losing, what was it, I forget what that score was, but I remember that being like, oh my God, I cannot believe that.
Well, worst loss of the year. And then Thursday night happened, the worst loss of the year. And then Sunday happened, it's the worst loss of the year. This is exactly what I'm trying to tell you.
It's incredible, but this is what I'm telling you, is that this bullpen has been a mess, and everybody's like, all right, so who are we going to get? We're going to get Scherzer, we're going to get Gallo,
you're going to get nobody.
We're going to get that guy. I'm like, what you need is like a whole new bullpen of pitchers, and this thing goes back and forth year in and year out. Sometimes they're great, sometimes they're not so great. And right now for the Yanks, it's just been meltdown after meltdown after meltdown. And this is still with a kind of hodgepodge lineup. And at least these young guys, and it's the one thing I will say, talking to Yankee fans over the weekend, like the young guys have injected life into a lifeless lineup, stealing bases and getting the extra base on a base hit, or
you've seen it, hit and runs.
You've seen it. It's actually been fun to watch.
Sack flies, small ball Yankees. We've seen it,
and it's been kind of fun. It does remind me of a few years back when all the guys were hurt, and then the big leaguers were tired. They looked listless and they looked disinterested. And now all of a sudden you bring guys up from the minor leagues and they look like they're trying to make a name for themselves and they want to stay here.
Yeah,
and it really puts a premium, obviously on guys that have been here for a while to up their game as well. So that's good pressure. And they get Urshela back yesterday. They're going to get Judge back. They're going to get most of the guys back from the COVID-19 list and all that other stuff.
You're still holding out hope here. I'm very surprised at your
the 3.5
positive take on the Yankees again.
They're because I see it as them really competing. They've had meltdowns. They've had one individual guy after the next take their turn late in games having meltdowns. And it's not a reflection of the entire team like I believe everybody else is trying to make it. I know that there have been flaws in this team, and I know that they could probably use another starting pitcher. They probably could use, obviously,
you still think that they're going to buy at the trade deadline?
I do. You know why? Because I believe they're the Yankees.
Well, what happens in this series here?
Well, let's see again, you remember when we came out of the All-Star game, what did I say about that next part of the schedule? They could have easily taken 3 out of 4 from the Red Sox.
Right, but they didn't. But just like they've been disappointing at every turn this year.
If they would have lost all of those games, 5-1, 6-2, 7-3, I would sit here and tell you, forget it, they're done. But what I have seen since that trip they took to Seattle and then to Houston, even though they had that bad meltdown in that last game against Houston, they have come out and they have played really good baseball.
They dug themselves too big of a hole where like you playing good baseball thing doesn't really fly.
I know, but the point being is and really it comes down to 2 games. It really comes down to 2 games. Although they got one of the games back, they could have been swept. If you want to look at it the other way, they could have been swept had they not come back in Game 3 of this last series. But I don't know. I just feel like they're the Yankees. They're 3.5 out in the wild card. If they can get into the wild card and they throw obviously Garrett Cole and you figure they're going to win the game, now all bets are off and they're back right in the mix again. That's how close this thing is. I know that you wake up this morning after these losses and you say to yourself, okay, how are we going to change this symptom that we have had, it feels like, throughout the season? And I don't know how you could change it unless you get other players in here doing those roles. But, they should get Severino back. I'm just telling you, they still have, 6 weeks?
Yeah, I am just shocked. It's you watching this team. I'm shocked because I am declaring.
Why. I know, because I've heard it. I've heard it all. I've listened to the station all weekend.
I know, and you're trying to go against it. You're like deliberately going against it.
I'm just trying to find a silver lining, which I know is almost impossible, and I know it's hard for people to believe. But I am not going to throw in the towel on a team that has to remain relevant. They have to.
Well, I don't think that they will, and I'm going to declare an age-old sports talk thing on the Yankees this morning. This is, once you declare this, then you have to stick with it the rest of the year, and that is not their year. It's not their year.
All right,
age-old sports talk cliche.
Right.
I am dusting it off. I'm taking it out of the bag. Here, you see it right here?
I see
here's my bag.
There it is.
Right here. This is the bag I bring into and I will take out my age-old sports talk cliche for the Yankees right here.
Yep.
Not their year. Not their year. And when I say it's not their year, I mean that things like this are going to continue to happen, to happen. Injuries, COVID, issues, all sorts of crap. Not their year.
All right, big schedule guy. Big picture schedule guy that I am.
Not their year.
They have lost 3 out of their last 4. Now they have a huge 3-game series now with Tampa Bay. They got today off, obviously. And then they go to Miami. Then they have Baltimore. Then they have Seattle. Then they have Kansas City.
Yeah.
And then it gets interesting again when the White Sox hit town. So, again, if you look at this part of the schedule, can they pick up 2 or 3 games? Could they?
Yeah. I don't know. So pick up 2 or 3 games in the wild card, obviously, because you know that the division's over. So they're trailing both Tampa and the A's, but really they're just trailing the A's.
The Yankees, the Red Sox have an incredible middle part of their lineup.
Yeah.
There's no question about that. When they're all healthy, man, they are a bomb squad. I sit here and tell you that their pitch is not all that great.
But they're 9 games up in the division. We're talking about the Yankees going to the playoffs. So
I'm talking about the Yankees still are very much in the wild card hunt.
Okay, so could they pick up a couple of games? I don't know. If they end up getting swept by Tampa, the A's are playing the Padres for 2 and then the Angels for 4 coming up. This is critical. It is. I hate the looking ahead thing right now because I just don't even think like they're worth even talking about in that way until they show us something. You can't assume that they're going to go on some sort of run or play a stretch where they win 7 of 9 until you see it.
The amazing thing is they had won 4 in a row. They had beaten the Red Sox twice. They had beaten Philadelphia twice. And then they go up to Boston. And Thursday night happens.
Yeah.
It was just.
But there's always a game like that happens this year.
Two of these games that happened in these last 4. I understand. So I am not throwing in the towel. And if I were one of those players in that team, I would not throw in the towel. And if I were the GM Brian Cashman, I would not throw in the towel. And the reason I'm not throwing in the towel is because there are a lot of guys' jobs on the line here. And they still feel like they have a chance. There's no question in my mind they feel like they have a chance. The fan base may not. Some people on this radio station may not, which is fine. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. I'm just telling
they can't quit. We know that.
The Yankees themselves, as an organization, as a brand, they are not throwing it in.
No, nobody. That would be horrendous if they did.
You're saying it's over.
No.
You said it was over.
No, but I'm not saying.
Did you not say it was over? You said it was over.
But I believe, from my perspective, not their year.
Yeah, so that
from my perspective, but of course,
it's not their year. That means
it's over. Yeah, but I'm not. But I know that they're not going to quit. I never said they're going to quit.
But
I'm just saying.
It's over.
I'm saying not their year.
All right, so it's not over. So now what? So in your eyes, if it's over,
it's over. Yeah.
So now
no
what
more
happens?
Yankee baseball.
So what
this year.
happens then?
That's it. They play out the string.
Do they trade? Should they be trading away assets?
But this is okay. So these are the guys that they could trade. Are they going to trade Aaron Judge and flip the roster upside down? No, they're not going to do that. Aroldis Chapman is a guy that could be traded. He's had a bizarre season. I don't know if anybody's going to want him. What other guys on this roster are available to other teams that are in the hunt that the Yankees could actually shed some salary or try to rebuild? There's not a lot of those guys. So what the Yankees
salary?
that's what they're going to do.
Adding salary.
Well, they probably won't because you know how the luxury tax thing works
right now.
So, I mean, what I think is going to happen is, maybe they try to add to the bullpen. Maybe they make a minor move here or there, and they hope that the guys come back from COVID and they make a run. But they won't because it's not their year. It's not their year.
So you're saying it's over?
I am. I've seen enough.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's over.
I've seen enough.
I'm not saying that.
They are not making the playoffs. They're not any good. They're not a good baseball team.
They've had a couple meltdowns.
They just haven't been
late
good all
in
year.
games with obviously key players. There's no question about it. And a couple of those key players are paid extremely well in terms of Chapman and Britton, which then brings you to the same question about piercing the luxury tax number, which is $210 million. I don't see that happening, but I also know that this is a brand, and this brand is not going to sit here and give up in late July. They're just not going to.
It's
over. Yeah. So you guys may think it's over. There may be other people out there who think it's over. I don't think it's over.
Okay. All right. Well,
I want to be and Fleegs, do me a favor. Write that down.
Not their year.
Write that down right now.
Well,
Okay?
this is one of those things that
26th of July, it's not over. And you could write in one side, Boomer says it's not over. And on the other side of your paper, you could say that Gio says it's over, okay?
Right. And it'll be one of those things that if you're right, we'll hear about it to the end of time. But if you're wrong, then we'll never talk about it again.
No, I promise you. I promise you. If I'm wrong and you're right.
I don't think they're making the playoffs, man. I'm sorry. I don't. I felt this way for like a week, 2 weeks. I've seen enough.
If you want a medal and you win, I'll give you a medal.
I don't need a medal.
You could wear a medal at the boat party.
No, I don't want a medal.
You could say, hey, there's Gio. He's the one that said.
Well, we're not going to know by the boat party if it's already
maybe we
over.
will, the way you're talking.
No, I mean,
the way you're talking, it's over right now. So
it kind of is. Yeah, it is.
What do you mean? Kind of is, or it is?
Well, it's not officially until you're mathematically eliminated, but in my mind, it is.
But yeah, so you're saying
not their year.
It's over.
Not their year.
You're saying it's over.
I'm not saying. I'm saying it's not their year.
It's over.
I don't believe they're going to make the playoffs.
I think we're saying the same thing. No. If you're saying it's not their year, essentially you're saying
too many things going on. Too much stuff swirling.
Right.
You got a couple of COVID breakthrough cases.
Yes.
You got all these meltdowns. You got these guys throwing wild pitches. Too much happening. Not their year. It's tough.
It's over.
It's tough to get through all that stuff.
According to you, it's over.
Yeah, I guess.
It's over.
I bet you if you ask a majority of Yankee fans, most of them are extremely negative and thinking the same thing.
I agree they're negative because I told you I spent the weekend with a bunch of Yankee fans. They're all negative because that's just
this team stinks.
What we tend to do around here. We tend to focus on the negative.
And Aaron Boone, by the way, did you see or hear any of him after the game?
It's not good. It's not,
he is humming over his own moves.
I mean, what do you want him to do?
What I want him to do is at least have confidence in what he did in the game 10 minutes prior. I mean, he's going, he should have had the infield in the eighth inning with second and third and one out. And he was talking about how that's the decision that he should have gone back on. And then also, I mean, think about Herman coming out of the game. Was it 92 pitches? He gives up a hit to start the eighth inning, and he's out. And you're going to trot in Loizaga in there, who gets his face caved in.
You know what?
What are you doing?
You know what I think? I think I had 3 days off last week. I come in today. I'm a little softer than normal. I feel like I'm a little relaxed.
Good.
So I'm not going to get all wound up in
I'm not wound up. I'm very confidently and calmly saying it's not their year.
Zach is screaming about the wrong thing. He's talking about no left-handers in the lineup. I mean, this has nothing to do with left-handers in the lineup. This has everything to do with a couple guys like he pointed out, Chad Green and Chapman, and of course Loizaga.
Well, and also a manager who made every wrong decision yesterday.
I mean, all you can do. Did you want him to leave Herman in?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, so this is the most pitches he had thrown all year.
I don't care.
It was 93 pitches.
He didn't feel fatigued. He said after the game, I wasn't fatigued. You're up 4 runs.
I know, and there was, I was listening to it on the radio with John and Susan, and John said, after the 5th inning, now is when you start thinking no-hitter. I was like, oh, okay, over. But yeah, as soon as that double was hit, Aaron
Boone pulled a hamstring getting out of the dugout.
Yeah, it was like one of those things. You ever see those dolls you push down and you're waiting for it and it springs up and it pops up like that?
Yep.
That's exactly what he was like coming out of the dugout.
He couldn't wait to get him out of there. But, I know that, to me, this is not a second guess. I figured, a double, and I understand that ball was hit very hard by Verdugo, but still. We're talking about...
One hit. It's just one hit.
It's one hit.
I know.
And he wasn't... It was not like he was at 115 pitches. He was at 92.
I was wondering why, if that were Garrett Cole and he came out to get him out of there,
Garrett Cole would have picked up the rosin bag and thrown it in the face of Aaron Boone is what he would have done.
Well, the other thing I will say this, and we all know this to be true. I don't think anybody is even questioning, and I know how much the Yankees like Aaron Boone. I know that. We all know that. But he does not have a contract at the end of this year.
Yeah.
And if it goes south, like you say that it is south now and it's not going to come back north.
We're below the Mason-Dixon line.
We are below the Mason-Dixon line. If that happens, they'll be looking for a new manager.
Yes.
That is 100% correct. I agree with that sentiment.
Okay, very good.
I'm not going to go. I'm not agreeing with you and Zach. Zach woke up this morning. Zach is in a freaking bad mood, and I get it. I am not in a bad mood today.
Oh.
I'm in a good mood today. And I understand, it's not my team. I'm not the Yankee fan around here. I'm the Met fan around here, and we got the best, slugger in the game, and he's hitting the hell out of the ball. And he's even though he and Shohei Ohtani, were in the home run hitting contest, they're both still hitting home runs.
Right. So maybe that is a
negative effect. So no negative effect on any of that stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm happy because maybe it's my happiness with Pete Alonso carrying his team. Maybe it's my happiness that Carrasco is going to be coming back very shortly.
Yeah, a couple days off.
Maybe it's my happiness that all of a sudden Edwin Diaz is back to getting closes again.
Yeah, right. Saves, I think.
Saves.
Yeah, I believe
closing saves is what I meant to say.
Yeah, right.
So maybe I'm just happy because of that. And I don't want to sit here and I don't want to wallow in the Yankee fans' misery.
Yeah, okay. So we don't have to, but they're going to be there. They're going to be there today.
I'll listen, and I'll be more than happy to listen. I'm listening to you when you say it's over.
Yeah, no, it's not there yet.
It's over.
Boomer and Gio on the fan.
You're telling me that you do not think at all
that they're making the playoffs.
Are they going to make moves?
No, actually, that I'm not. I don't. That's a question I really don't have a feel for right now. I think I'll have a better sense if they get swept by the Rays. Then I don't think they're adding at all. But if they're still treading water, I could see Brian Castro trying to put a finger in the dike.
We suck right now.
So Friday morning, we come in here. The Yankees win all 3 games down in Tampa, which they're not going to do.
See, even you.
But if they did,
yeah.
This is what could happen in baseball. It can happen within 3 or 4 days.
I understand, but we've been saying it the entire year, and we're touching August right now.
They were in the middle.
I could see August.
By the way, they were in the middle of doing just that until Thursday night and yesterday.
What's that on the horizon?
They were in
August?
the middle. They were in the middle of.
And we're still talking about this,
turning their whole season around.
Over,
except for 2 players.
Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the red bell so you're notified when we have new content.